Review number 1. I've been putting bObi Pet through her paces week 1 and here's what I've discovered. First, I'm the perfect candidate for this little robot. I have shiny white floors that are impossible to keep clean, live in an indoor/outdoor home in the tropics where it rains constantly and my yard turns into a mud pit. I have 2 fluffy, slobbery dogs that shed a sweater's worth of fur a day, and I entertain a lot with weekly game nights that usually involve some kind of alcoholic beverage getting spilled on the floor. Most people would run screaming. Before bObi Pet, I'd resigned myself to daily floor cleaning and a routine of sliding around with my socks on, constantly, mopping and dusting with my feet wherever I went. I may or may not have also bought my dogs booties with dusters on them. After reading the positive reviews here, and comparing them to those of the competition's robots, all priced hundreds of dollars higher, I decided to take the plunge and try out my first robotic vacuum. I had realistic expectations, having to clean a little less, maybe, and figured if the bot didn't work well, at least I hadn't paid as much as the crazy people shelling out close to $1,000 for a Roomba that you can text from your iPhone. I already have a smart thermostat/security system that texts me more than all my friends put together. I don't need another device blowing up my phone in the middle of the night to say it's stuck on the carpet and needs a hand. I expected to like having to spend less money on Swifts and socks. I did not, however, expect to immediately develop such a strong attachment to this little bot that I'm struggling to remember how I lived without her. After a few days of watching her figure things out, she's a fast study. I woke up to a freshly cleaned home this morning, bObi having successfully woken herself up in the middle of the night to perform her scheduled cleaning. She was so quiet that not even the dogs woke up to stare at her, terrified, before backing away slowly like they did the first time I set her loose. True, the mopping function isn't stellar. There's only room on bObi's enviously slim body for a damp microfiber towel to be attached and dragged underneath her, but the waffling method helps tremendously to get stubborn muddy patches to lift away, as I discovered this afternoon during our usual post-rainstorm dog paw print battle. This isn't going to replace a human with a wet vac, a stick vacuum and a set of human eyeballs who can methodically clean every inch of a room. bObi is better for maintenance than a deep clean. But allowing her to have the run of the house each day for a cycle or 2 has reduced the number of dog hairs on my Swiffer by almost 90%, which is huge. The reviews are true regarding her decibel levels. She's quiet enough that you can listen to music, have a conversation, or watch TV while she's cleaning. And honestly, to see that zippy little silver disc zooming everywhere, sensing her way around the furniture, makes me feel like I'm living in the kind of flying cars for everyone Jetsons future I dreamed I'd be living by now when I was a kid. I haven't experienced any of what some reviewers have called her deliberate reorganizational attempts, i.e. her bumping into things with such vigor that she moves them from room to room. And, thanks to her minimalist, unintrusive-looking block, I've become an expert at focusing her attention on whatever size area I need her to clean most, and I love that there's no hideous, messy tape to lay down like some other brands. Her suction isn't that of a full-size vacuum, but then again, she's not a full-size vacuum. The design itself is chic, as far as robots go, and thus far I'm loving how intuitive all her features are. I'm not the most technologically savvy person on earth, so if you're like me I suggest you take advantage of the owners section of the bObi Sweep website. If you're more of a visual learner, the company has all the assembly, how-to, and troubleshooting info you need, sectioned out into short little easy-to-follow videos. It took me about 10 minutes to set everything up after watching them. Above all, the thing that sets this bot apart from the pack is the company's customer service. I received a thoughtful, honest reply from an actual human, ironically, within hours of submitting my warranty info, and I've never experienced such lightning fast, no BS responses from a company regarding their product's strengths and shortcomings. That alone makes me feel secure in my purchase, and will keep me recommending bObi Pet to my friends and family. I worked in customer service for a large online retailer, so I know how rare it is for a company to spend the bucks and take the time to make sure their customers are getting real, well-informed answers from agents willing to deviate from some kind of pre-written script. Never mind the automatic robo menus that have you screaming I want to speak to a person over and over like some kind of deranged astronaut lost in space. These guys are the real deal. You get the sense they actually want you to enjoy their product, and are interested in constructive feedback. Kudos to them, and to bObi for getting those paw prints out. Now, if only I could convince her to do my laundry. Review number 2. I bought this from another website, but there have been no reviews of this newest model, so I feel that I should provide one to help others. I will start off by saying I have only had it a few days so far, so my review could change. I am using the bObi Pet on all tile and hardwood in the main level of my house. The layout is quite complicated with 8 different rooms that are open to the robot. The layout could not be called open as there are doorways between each room. That being said, I have placed the base station in the main living area and have run the robot 5 to 6 times so far. The good. 1. Wherever the robot goes, I feel it does a good job cleaning. 2. I enjoy the remote. It lets me start and stop it from my seat. 3. The ability to schedule the robot for daily cleaning is nice. 4. The daily/weekly maintenance is fairly straightforward. The bad. 1. Right now the unit has not found its way back to its base station ever. 2. bObi cannot see my black furniture, so it just runs into it until it decides to change direction. 3. Unless it is heading directly for a skinny obstacle, it cannot see it and will run into it. 4. The robot has a hard time navigating my house. Sometimes it spends its entire charge in one room. Like I said, this is just an early review. Hopefully the robot learns my house layout and is able to better navigate/return home. I cannot compare it to a Roomba as I have never had one. I will update my review as I have more time with the bObi Pet. Update 1. I have given the robot a month to figure out the layout of my home. The robot now does find the base station 50% of the time, but I do not mind picking it up. The robot still cannot detect some of my furniture, but as long as I am not in the room to notice, it does not bother me. My chairs do get moved around though. I can only ever expect the robot to get out of my main room into one other room. It will not clean the whole floor. However, it does seem to rotate which room it goes to. As long as you leave it unattended and are not watching it, I will upgrade my review to 4 stars. Update 2. The wheel on the robot got too much pet hair entangled in it and ultimately failed. Unfortunately, I did not find an easy way to prevent this from happening, as the wheels are not cleanable/serviceable. For warranty service, I have to send the unit back to the shop, which they are charging me $15 shipping each way for, and they will have my robot for a month. I am not liking either of these things. With it being gone for several weeks, I now realize how much I needed the robot cleaning every day. For the $30 charge and the fact that the system broke in the first 9 months, I am downgrading to 3 stars. Review number 1. I've been putting bObi Pet through her paces week 1, and here's what I've discovered. First, I'm the perfect candidate for this little robot. I have shiny white floors that are impossible to keep clean. live in an indoor/outdoor home in the tropics where it rains constantly and my yard turns into a mud pit. I have 2 fluffy, slobbery dogs that shed a sweater's worth of fur a day, and I entertain a lot with weekly game nights that usually involve some kind of alcoholic beverage getting spilled on the floor. Most people would run screaming. Before bObi Pet, I'd resigned myself to daily floor cleaning and a routine of sliding around with my socks on, constantly, mopping and dusting with my feet wherever I went. I may or may not have also bought my dogs booties with dusters on them.